KMC guy here again from Automated System Solutions, ASS. Let's continue. In this video I'm going to show you a couple of runtime macro blocks I have produced. Runtime can be very useful for doing lead lags of pumps, let's say on time, or to keep track of how long a piece of equipment has been running since you last serviced it. One of the things that you may not know exists is runtime in binary inputs and binary outputs. Here I have a binary input called pump status, and in the status properties there's all kinds of information about running and cycle times and that. We're interested in this elapsed active time. This is a value stored in flash memory and continually upgrades when the unit's running, and it's stored in seconds. This is the value I'm going to show you how to get the information out of. The first runtime block I'm going to show you is for binary inputs and binary outputs. I'm going to go to the block library and type in run, and here is the runtime block that I have produced for binary inputs and binary outputs, called runtime BIBO. So we're going to do runtime for a pump that I've already have programmed in here. So I'm going to type in PMP up here, and I'm going to do this pump status here. That's what I'm going to get the runtime value for. Now notice the very first input here. It says runtime units, seconds, minutes, hours. I wasn't sure I always wanted hours for the runtime value, so I've set it up where you can do you can select. So as you can see here, if I type in 1 here, it'll be seconds, 2 it'll be minutes, and 3 it'll be hours. For this demonstration I'm going to put 1 in for seconds. Now I'm going to go get the AV that I'm going to assign the runtime value to, pump runtime 1. Now this is actually an output, but as I've shown you in other videos, I've made an input so I can easily drag an object onto the pallet and attach it. So I'm going to attach this up here, hit run. And it's successful. As you can see, I've got this on update, and it's updating in seconds, that value off of that property. I'm going to go into the block editor and show you the code. Here is the value or the extension that you need to get the runtime value out of. And as you can see, I've set this up into the seconds, minutes, hours. And here's that instruction thing to pick what you want. One of the other things I've added to this is this little piece down here. From time to time you may want to reset that runtime. Well, you don't want to have to go into those properties in that object to reset it, particularly a customer. So I've set it up where if you override that point temporarily, it will reset, backfeed that reset into the runtime elapsed time property of that object. So let's go see what it looks like in the controller. Now, it looks kind of strange because I put that instructions on whether to use hours, minutes, and seconds. So notice how you get 1 equal 1, 1 equal 2, 1 equals 3. That's just the nature of how, the find and replace and how that works. Next runtime macro block is for binary value objects. Binary value objects do not have runtime properties associated with them, so we're going to have to calculate runtime. We go to my block library, and I've got a block called runtime BV calcs. Drag that to the palette. Now I have exhaust fan objects already pre-programmed here. I'm going to type EX. There's a fan status BV. I'll drag that onto the palette here. And then I also have exhaust fan runtime. Again, this is one of those where I have an input is actually an output. Now I'm using local variables in here, and I thought you might need to use this block more than once in a program, so I'm back to this block number thing. So I'm going to put 1 in there for that. And then we're going to do like we did before. We're going to do 1 second for the units that we're going to be working with for demonstration purposes. I'm going to attach this up here and run this program. Okay, now I've got the auto refresh for values, and as you can see, the the exhaust fan runtime is increasing. So let's go look at the values in a table view. I can refresh this and you can see this value in here. Now I've set this code up to save to relinquish default anytime you turn it on and off. So let's override this thing to inactive, save it, and refresh this. And as you notice, that value has been saved to the relinquish default. Let's look at the code behind this block. Now you can see here this period RD. That's the function necessary to write to relinquish default. Another thing I've done with this block is I've added this 6 hours to save to run relinquish default. This could be a pump, let's say, that's running for days and days and days and days, and if you don't save it to relinquish default, you could lose that runtime. So I've set it up to save it to it every 6 hours, regardless if we've had a cycle change. Now you could put this into another input into this this block and then put whatever value you want, but I just put 6 hours.